I've seen everything from poverty to riches. I went to school with kids that had, on their 16th birthday, they were at the BMW dealership. You know what I mean? But I'm also, in Compton on Central in Alondra. You know what I'm saying?
They might have stole a BMW.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. There you go. From them kids.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
So I've seen a lot of the world just even in my, in growing up. Yeah. And I think that my art reflects that, kind of just like showing the beauty through the eyes of a Black woman. Hi, I'm Kandyce Williams with Candy Apple Tree Art. You can find me at candyappletree.com or Candy Apple Tree with a K on all socials.
Hey.
Hi.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you.
Same.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Kandyce Williams. Kandyce Williams, she's an artist. And so we're going to talk about some things. As you know, this is the non-conversations where we say now or never, because now or never gives you too many options. All right. So I want to talk to you because let me let the people know how I got to meet you just today.
Yes.
Right. We're going to keep it real with the people. I got to meet you today. But last week, if y'all watched last week, we had a interesting fellow on the show on last week who was telling us about an interesting person who had this great talent. I'm not going to give you no names. You're going to have to go back and watch last week. But a person that had an interesting talent, a great talent that they were kind of just utilizing, sort of frivolously and like carelessly, just something that was maybe passing time, something they were always capable of doing. And then they got the push to say, you know what, you should be doing something with your gift. Which, this is what we're all about on the non-conversations, is taking that next step, something that you have a passion about, or something like that, taking that next step and doing something with it for yourself or for other people, right? And so you are an artist, right? Yes. So I don't want to tell your whole story, but before we get into all of that, tell us about you. Tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from?
Okay.
All of that.
So my name is Kandyce, and I am from Los Angeles. I've been in Dallas coming up on 4 years. Okay. I moved here, me and my son, he's about to be 21 now, but when he was about 15, 16, we moved here. I just drove me and him all the way here and just started over. And I got into art. Well, I've been an artist all my life, but I got into digital art while I was here just as a hobby, and it has just flourished.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what part of LA? When you say LA, that's broad.
LA. Like,
okay, deep.
Yeah, South Central by USC, 36th, then Cimarron or Jefferson and Arlington over there. And then my grandparents, they lived in Compton. I grew up in Inglewood. We stayed in Watts. Like, I'm born and raised LA. Okay. Went to Palisades High School. So I'm a little, you got
a blend.
I have a blend, right? So South Central Compton, but I went to school near Malibu. So
yeah, I'm familiar with LA a little bit. I was out in North Hills for a while.
Okay.
So you obviously know where that is. But how do you feel like where you're from and how you grew up shaped what you do now?
Like you said, I'm kind of a nice blend. So I've seen everything from poverty to riches. I went to school with kids that had, on their 16th birthday, they were at the BMW dealership. You know what I mean? But I'm also, in Compton on Central in Alondra. You know what I'm saying?
They might have stole a BMW.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. There you go. From them kids.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
So I've seen a lot of the world just even in my, in growing up. Yeah. And I think that my art reflects that, kind of just like showing the beauty through the eyes of a Black woman that has seen a lot.
I got an opportunity to go and look and see some of your art.
Okay.
And so what I first noticed, and I think I mentioned this to who we were talking about earlier, but I think what I first noticed was the Afrocentric piece of it. And so how important is it for you through your art to express your culture and all of that? How important is that?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, my art is through the eyes of a Black woman. Okay. I know no other way because I am Black. I am a woman. There are pieces that may just have, flowers or whatever, but that's what I see as a Black woman, So I see everything. I see I see the world the way the regular world sees it, but then I see it in the view of a Black person, and then as a Black woman. That's like a whole extra little step there. You know what I mean? So I know no other way than to be Black, and that's the way that's my view. You know, but I also, a lot of times I see other artists and all of their art is like, you know, portraits, all Black people. I see more than just Black faces. Like I said, I see flowers, I see buildings that are pretty, I see cars, I see other things, I see scenery. Yeah. You know, we see everything.
Right. That's good. And everything is art. If you think about it through that lens, everything is art. What you feel, what you see. A lot of people, I tell people all the time, you know, being an artist is not necessarily, I think we all by nature are creators.
Yes.
Right. You know, we consume information, we consume what we see, things like that, and then how we react. We're creating by what we do in the world.
Yes,
based off of the experiences and all those things we have. So everyone, in a sense, is an artist. Who inspired you? Do you have any inspirations? Were there artists in your family that kind of got you into it?
My mom is very creative. She's not, and she doesn't draw. She's not a painter or anything, but she's very, very creative. Like she decorates for Christmas. She starts like in July. Like she is very, she's very, very crafty. And she actually taught me how to crochet. And that was my first art form that I've done. Yeah. She taught me that when I was a teenager. And so I did that first. That was my first artistic business that I did. I still kind of dabble in that, but it's really time consuming. But so she taught me how to do that, and I would make literally anything. Like your beanie, that's nothing to make, but I would make.
We're gonna talk after this.
Okay. But just like I started getting people asking me to make like Bible book covers and just like anything, clothing, like, so I was doing that for quite some time, but like I said, it's really time consuming to crochet. But that was my introduction. So I would say my mom was the one that is super creative. My older sister, actually my whole family, my older sister is really creative. No one is a visual artist per se, but they're all very, very creative. My grandfather, he was an architect, and I'll say from him, I got my attention to detail. Very, very detailed. We'd be at home, at my grandparents' house, and he's in the garage. And even after he was retired, he'd make family trees and just always dibbling and dabbling in some. Yeah, he always had a project, and everything was very, very detailed. And I think that's where I know that's where I get that from, that attention to detail.
That's so interesting that you were able to pinpoint it.
I already know.
A lot of times we don't know where things come from until we have those years and we have that hindsight to say, you know what, I feel like I was around this person when this was happening, or this person showed me this. So your mom got you into crocheting, your grandfather, attention to detail. So then when do you feel like you became, like you said to myself, I am an artist? What were you doing? Were you drawing pictures then?
And you know what? It took me a while to actually say I am an artist, even though I had been doing creative things. I was already an artist, but it's something to say it and to feel it and to own it. And it took me a while, probably just a couple years ago, honestly, to say I'm an artist. You know, comfortably, confidently to say it. You know, it's like, it's hard to give yourself a title when you're not confident in. I wasn't confident in my work. That's probably what it was.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So, you know, and even though crocheting is an art, it's fiber arts. It's still like hard to say I'm an artist. Sometimes people don't put that with, you know, being an artist. So a couple years ago, I got confident enough to say I'm an artist.
And that's an important, what you're saying, this is an important message for anybody, is that the first thing you have to do is to say to yourself, like, okay, this is what I do. This is who I am, right? And a lot of times people won't step into something, or they won't do something, or they won't even promote themselves or tell other people that they do something because they're, again, the comparison thing. We talk about that a lot on here, where it's like, well, when I think of an artist, I think of Basquiat, or I think of this, and like, maybe my stuff doesn't look like that. We're like, no, your art is your art. And your vision and your story that you tell through your art is necessary from your perspective. So that's good that you said that. So let's talk about it, because one thing that I noticed just looking through your social media presence and all of that, you've been doing a lot of different like events.
Yes.
And you're selling and showcasing your art. Tell us about that. How did that all start?
So I started as your person last week.
That's Jackson, y'all. Yeah. That's Jackson.
So I got into digital art just as a hobby or whatever. It was really after COVID, and we're just, everyone's at home, working from home. Yeah. And there's only so much, I don't really like watching television anyway. And there's only so many Netflix movies I can watch where I'm like, I am Netflixed out, So I started drawing again. I mean, I've always drawn, but I started digital art. I started drawing on the iPad, and it just kind of evolved and got better and better and better. And I'm like, dang, this is getting really good. And my fiance is like, your stuff is good. Yeah. Like, you need to do something with this. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I started putting things out on social media, and no one was really buying anything or, at first, which was fine because it was more so just about this new hobby I found. Yeah. And then eventually friends and family, they would ask me to do portraits of them or their families, their family members. And so I started doing commissions. Yeah. But no one was buying my art.
Got you.
Like, no one was buying my pieces that I created that came from my head. Yeah. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just do commissions. Maybe no one really likes my art because none of my friends and family were into my art. Yeah. And so one day I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see, I guess it was an ad or something. I don't know. It was on my feed for the Spectacular Black Girl Art Show. And I was like, I'm going to submit to be an artist. Great. And I was like, should I do it? I asked my fiance, should I do it? He was like, yeah. And I was like, am I good enough to go be in an art show? And he was like,
the answer is always yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. Yeah. And so that was last March, so a year ago, my first event. And I went, I did it, and I made some decent money. It wasn't like amazing, but it was really good. Yeah. And more so than the money, it gave me the confidence.
That's it.
To know that people like my art. Yeah. People mess with me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes your friends and family, they like what you do, but it's not for them. It's not their thing. You have different hobbies and different interests than a lot of your friends that you've grown up with. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. So I had to go find the people that were interested in what I was doing. Yeah. And that art show showed me that there are people that are interested in my art.
Yeah, there's a few things that you just said I want to unpack.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
That's great. I want to unpack that. So first of all, the concept of you saying, you know what, there's this thing, I feel like I could do it, getting that kind of confirmation from your support system, but also saying, you know what, like, I want to step out and just see what happens. Yeah. Right. I think that's what the non-conversations are all about. It's just like, look, I don't know if I'm perfect. I don't know what people might say, but I'm about to take this step. Yeah. And let's just see what happens. And then you realize, like, oh, all this stuff what I'm seeing is beautiful to me. Just like any artist, you make music, anything. If it sounds good to you, if it looks good to you, somebody, at least one or two people are gonna like it too. So I think stepping out is the first piece.
Yes.
Kudos to you for that.
Thank
the second
you.
piece is, you mentioned like there are people out here who like your art, and you mentioned like how your family, maybe it wasn't for them. Right. This is the thing. I want to say this. This is a soapbox moment for me. We are in an era right now where people either want to be one of two people. They want to be the first. Like, I was hip to this before you was, so I'm the first to see something, whatever it is they want to call it out. Or it's you don't have enough on it yet, so I'm gonna fall back on it. But then once it do start hitting, oh, I remember when she used to, that's my cousin, that's my, yes. We live in that society right now. I'm pretty sure you're probably experiencing that. So that's the thing is, I don't ever want you to own, like, oh, my family doesn't really, because some of them really do. They probably just not, it's their own insecurities, their own confidence of being able to say, I support you even when it's not looking like this. Right. I support you. Right. It's easier for them to say, like, oh, you established, you good, you rolling, everything's looking great, you successful. That's my whoever it is. That's my friend. So don't ever like let that.
I definitely agree. Yeah. And towards the beginning, I did let that affect me in some kind of way. And it was at one moment, my fiance and I, we went out to eat, and I'm talking about one or two friends or family that have never shared anything of mine, never purchased anything of mine. And he said, and this made me feel so stupid, but I needed it.
Yeah.
He said, you just had 40,000 people share one piece of your art. You have 40,000 people that you don't know share one piece of your art, and you're worried about two people.
There you go.
And I said, when you say it like that, it's really insignificant.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, I'm very supportive. If my friends and family are doing something, let's say maybe I don't have the money to purchase whatever you're selling, I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to, tell others about it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But that's me. And not everybody is the same supportive as you, or their support is not what you deem support is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't always be mad that someone isn't support. Sometimes they just got stuff going on and they're not even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Now,
that's good.
I am the type, no matter what's going on in my life, good, bad, whatever, I'm still supportive.
Showing support.
I'm still
in some kind of way.
In some kind of way. I'm still loving. I'm still happy for you. But not everyone is able to do that. Not everyone can be happy for others where they're going through things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've learned that actually is a skill.
It is.
It's a skill.
It is.
To be able to suppress whatever you're dealing with, but to be able to say, like, you know what, I have support for this, or I love this, and I can't allow my down moment or the fact that I haven't reached where I'm trying to get to keep me from showing love and support, because it's kind of that crabs in a barrel type of mentality, right? Like, until I get out of here, I'll help you out once I get out.
Right.
And maybe I won't. But while I'm in here, definitely. Right. I'm not going to help you get out while I'm still in here, right? So we have to, like, not own those thoughts or even think about that, because I've seen it so much, myself and a lot of my guests talk about the same thing, where that's the one thing that cripples most people, is the people that are in their support system. And then, like, you look at, like, oh, like, I can see you in my stories.
I know you saw it.
So either tell me you don't like it, or you like it. Say something.
Right.
Like, you close enough to me to be able to give me one of the two.
Right.
I don't like what you're doing.
Right.
Or I love what you're doing. Keep going.
Right.
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 So that's great that you bring that up, and I'm glad that you were able to overcome.
Yeah, and again, it was hard for me too at first, because these are people that are super close to me. You know, you're my friend, and you haven't shown any support to me in my eyes. But maybe you do feel that you're being supportive.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know. And I stopped even worrying about that.
You can't own it. That's their thing.
And I feel like as soon as I stopped worrying about who was not supporting me and started focusing on who was supporting me, it just went crazy. Like, I just stopped thinking, negatively and about who's not. Focus on, and then guess what though? Those people that were not, they get on board. Then they start purchasing things and sharing things.
That's what it is.
And I don't know
if it's a thing now.
Now it's popular. It's okay now. It's not cringy. Oh, what is she doing now? Oh my God, this is weird.
That's embarrassing.
Wait, people like. Oh, well, it's okay. It's cool for me to like it now. So they're gonna start liking it eventually. But regardless, you have people that are supportive, and those are who you need to focus on.
People who live life like that. Waiting for what the culture says, waiting for what's popular, waiting for to feel comfortable by some kind of means of what they've seen. They live like that. You're always behind. You're always behind, where people who are always stepping out and saying, like, I don't, not necessarily that I don't care, but I'm just going to do. I just got to
keep, I'm
going to do me.
And I noticed there was a piece of art in particular, and this was more recently, I posted on Instagram, and it didn't get that many likes from my friends and family or whatever. And I was like, maybe it's called Bodega Cat. So it's like it's a cat in the doorway at a bodega, right? And not many people liked it. And then I was like, oh, I like it, whatever. So I still get it printed for I did the chocolate and art show. I think that was the first time I put it out. In an event. I think that was it. And so many people bought Bodega Cat. So something may not go well online. You may not get a lot of likes online. But in person, I sold so many, and everybody's like, oh my God, I love this,
That's good.
So, but then there's some that I get a lot of likes on online, but doesn't sell in person. So that's another thing, not equating likes and follows and all that to your value. And you know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter. And you have to also think about, because this is the social media time that we're in, some people use their presence as currency. So I may have a job to where they're monitoring everything I like and don't like. So I might not like something, not because I don't like it, but because it might be inappropriate for people, you know.
That's very true.
I'll give a perfect example, like in the church, you know what I'm saying? You work for a church, you know, you might be looking at Instagram and looking at beautiful women, but you can't press like because if somebody say, "Oh,
right,
Bishop,
that's true.
Press like on the, you know, on the bikini woman."
Right.
Now all of a sudden it's a scandal. So sometimes that's why I say you can't really own the likes and dislikes, or if people are saying anything or not. Some people don't know what to say. Yeah. And so I'm like, again, I think it's amazing for you to share that with a lot of people out here that need to hear that. Don't let that stop you. Like, oh, I only got 2 likes on this picture or anything like that. I'm gonna keep going, because guess what? I know if nothing else I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to pay attention to my own growth.
I look back at my Instagram all the time, especially when I feel like I'm in a creative rut or something, or I'm feeling like, like I'm trying to draw something, it's just not coming out how I want it to, and I kind of lose a little confidence. I look back, I go back, and I'm like, I see how far I've come. I see my progress, and I'm like, girl, you better, you think you're not doing good, you know what I'm saying? So it gives me a boost of confidence to see, you know, how I drew something a year ago versus now. You know what I'm saying? So it is really, and I said that one time on a post. I said, and this was probably a year ago or so, I don't remember, but I said in my caption, I said, I know y'all probably tired of me just posting art now, but my mom likes it, a couple people like it, and then people did comment and they're like, no, keep going, you know, a couple friends or whatever. But this is what I want to see. This is my page, and this is what I'm posting. This is what I'm currently doing. You know, like I don't know what else you want to see anyway. You know? This is what you on. This is what I'm on right now.
It's your page.
This is my page.
At the end of the day.
So this is my interest. I'm posting what I'm interested in at the moment. And this is what you're gonna see. And it's okay if you don't like it. You can mute me. You can unfollow me. It's okay. And I've been okay with that now. You know, like if it could be someone I went to high school with, maybe they're like, I'm tired of this. They want to unfollow me. That's totally fine.
That's good. That's good. That's great.
Thank you for watching the Non-Conversations on COTL-TV.
Hey, yo, what up, what up, what up? This is your boy, Cameron Classic Michael. First of all, thank you for watching the Non-Conversations right here on COTL-TV. That's at Content Outside the Lines, or Content Outside the Lines, whichever way you want to say it. That's how we meant it. Right here on YouTube. I hope you've been inspired by some of the guests that we've had. And if you have and you want to see more of the Non-Conversations or more content like it, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification button so you can see exactly what I'll be posting in the future. And you can also join me over on Instagram at IamClassicMichael, where you can see additional content as well. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. The non-life. It's now over never. Let's switch it a little bit, because there's aspiring artists out here that are watching this. What would you say to someone who, whether they draw, they crochet, they paint, whatever it is, whatever kind of art they do, they may dance or something like that. The person that's similar to you, that was kind of doing the thing, had this talent, had this gift, and maybe has had the thought of, all right, maybe I should enter into something, or maybe I should start posting this, or maybe I should try to monetize this, or whatever it is. What would you say to the people who are kind of doing the double dutch right now, trying to figure out whether or not they should?
I say just go. Just do it. And it's not going to be perfect at first. And, you know, like, let's say even when I started building my website, I did it myself. And now that I look back on when I first did it, I'm like, that wasn't cute. It wasn't that great, but it served its purpose. And it doesn't have to be perfect when you start. Just start. And see if you like it. See if you want it. You know, some things you may just want it to remain for you and be a hobby and something that you do and keep close to you. That's fine too. But if you are thinking about, you know, maybe I could make this into something that I can monetize, or I can eventually stop working at, or, you know, wherever I'm working, my day job, go for it.
Go for it.
And keep going for it though. Because like I said, I was drawing for a while before I did my first art show. So I did that art show. That was 2023. I probably was drawing a year, the digital art, I'm saying. I was doing for about a year and a half before I did that art show. So let's say I would have quit before that art show because, oh, nobody that's following me is buying my art. They only want pictures of themselves. Nobody's buying my art. I'm not going to do that anymore. I would have missed out on so much, you know? So it really is just keep going, find your people, find who's interested in what you're doing. This is if you want to monetize it.
If you want to monetize
If you want to monetize it. Because I also understand that some things are just for you.
Just for you.
You don't need to, everything doesn't have to be
That's good.
A job. You know what I mean? But if you do want to monetize it, keep going and go find your people.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you mentioned that last part about some things are just for you. And we talk about it so much where people are determining their own value by what people say or don't say about what they're doing. But like ultimately, you may not want to monetize off of it.
Right.
That may be something that happens, right? It may just be something that you're really passionate about, but you're hiding it because, you don't feel like it will get just due
right
on social media or in your family or your friend circle, whatever it is. So I love that you said that if you're wanting to go the business route,
because when I was crocheting, I started it being I was just doing it for fun or doing it for friends, and then when it became a business, I didn't like it anymore.
Let me you just hit on something right now. That's the thing where people are not going to understand, because people that got used to you doing it probably ask you all the time, why don't you do this like you used to anymore?
Right.
I have several things like that right now to where it's just like I'm in a different space.
Yes.
And I may do that again.
Yeah.
I may want to do it again. I may not. But also like some of the things that I do, like I mentioned with Dutch last week when we talked about the non-chef, which is also on my page with me cooking. I'm not a chef. I don't cook for real. I have fun experimenting with things. And so like when people ask me all the time, are you going to do like events? And I'm like, no, that's work.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a culinary artist in the sense of like, sign me up. I'm a culinary artist in the sense of like literally being an artist. Like,
yes,
I want to see how these seasonings might work.
And that's for you.
That's for
yourself.
Me. And I love that other people love to watch me do it. But that's not what I want to do with it. And I want people to be okay with that. And even if they're not okay with it, the things that I'm heading in the direction of I want to spend more time on are the things that are more passionate to me. And then every once in a while, you might see me throw up a
when
video
you
of me cooking,
feel like
when I feel like it, right?
But when it becomes a job, when it becomes a business, it's just like some of it can just lose you're like, I don't even want to do any of this.
And that could be the direction that you could tell someone to take, is that before you start looking to monetize something, make sure it's something that you love doing. Why sign up to do something? We already got jobs that we sign up that we don't want to do what we're doing, right? But why not, if you're going to step into something, make sure it's something that you really love, so that when it does get difficult or tedious, it's all good because I'm enjoying it.
It's still enjoyable. And I think that was the thing with the crocheting. It's like, number one, it takes a lot of time. And a lot of times people don't appreciate the time that it takes, like this took me, 15 hours to make, and then the yarn cost such and such. But don't get me wrong, I had some people, a girlfriend of mine, we went to high school together. She used to buy everything from me. Like I would hand make her swimsuits. So she has like a ton of swimsuits that I've crocheted for her. But she understood the value too. So when I'm like, okay, this is $300 or whatever, okay, because I know how much time it took you. I know how much that yarn costs. But other people are like, that's crazy. I'm gonna just go to Forever 21. That's fine too. But don't like talk to me like I'm being crazy when this took me, 15 hours and the yarn cost $50. You know what I'm saying? So I understand you wanted to go to Forever 21 or H&M. That's cool. No one's telling you can't, but don't undervalue me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not fair.
Yeah. And that goes to the thing about people by what they see, what they experience. Like, who do you think you are? That's the who do you think you are mentality. Because you're not in a store, your name's not on a bag.
Right.
So why would I pay this much money? Right. But then like, what do I need to do? Do you want to wait until other people validate me?
Yeah.
Before
I think a lot of people
like what I made.
That's why you even came to me to ask me,
There you go.
And with my art, the majority of people are like, you could charge more for this. I've had maybe two people at events be like, oh, I don't know, that's kind of high or whatever. Like, I don't want to pay that much for art. And I'm like, okay, like, it's okay. But this still took me a long time to draw, but you don't have to buy any. I don't have to buy something either. You don't have to.
It's funny though, because all it would take, I love, there's a documentary recently I just watched, has Swizz Beatz and Alicia Keys on it. And they buy art from all different Black artists, whatever it is. But because now they promote these paintings that they've some of these artists were just similar to you, just kind of doing their thing, whatever it is, and all of a sudden this name got behind their art. Now all of a sudden it's a thing to buy.
Right.
And it's crazy that we have that, but also I feel like you just have to be comfortable in that reality. Is that some people are going to say like going to a thrift store almost and say like, I like that. This doesn't have a name on it, but I like it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to wear it. But everybody doesn't have that mentality. Sometimes it's just like, I would wear that, but it don't say Gucci on it.
Right.
It don't say, I got an LV on it. And they would more likely buy a fake one to try to fool people versus buying something that's really dope that has no name on it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's that mentality.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say that. That even goes from my art. Like I'm drawing, posting pictures of my art and everything, and people liking it or whatever. And then I'm sure have you seen Snowfall, the show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I went crazy. I drew a whole bunch of Snowfall art because I
think I've seen a couple of them.
Oh my God, that show was just amazing. So I drew a whole bunch of Snowfall art, and Uncle Jerome, he reposted something on Instagram, right? He put in his story. And then it was another one I posted. I drew something from Paid in Full. And
I definitely saw that
one. What's his name?
Ace.
Yes.
Yeah.
He reposted something too, right?
Yeah.
So these pictures have been on my page. Y'all didn't comment. Y'all didn't like it. But then when I reposted, like, oh my God.
All of a sudden.
Oh my God, congratulations. Oh my God, oh my God.
We knew it. We knew it all along. We was just waiting for somebody else to say it, but
So now it's cool because Ace posted it, but the drawing is still the same.
It's crazy.
The drawing is still the same as it was last week when I posted it.
I ain't make no tweaks to it. That's good. Hey, listen, y'all, this is it. This is why I say now over never. Don't worry about, put your blinders on. When it's time for you to say to yourself, this is something that I have a passion for. This is something that I'm being led to do. This is something that God has placed inside of me. And I'm not going to allow what society or what the culture, which is ever changing, because what's cool right now going to be whack in like 2 years, right? And so you can't base what you do off of what people are saying, because they're shifty. The society, the culture that we're in is shifty. It's always shifting. Think about the things that we thought were just cool just 10 years ago that are now like, oh, you still doing that?
Right.
Right? Like, so you can't worry about that. You have to focus in, look at what it is that you're trying to accomplish. If it's just like a passion thing, a passion project, don't let people start getting you into the mindset of like, you need to make a t-shirt out of that. Like, no, this is my passion. Whatever comes from me doing it this way, this is how it's going to come. But if you're doing it from a business perspective and monetizing on it, still keep your focus on what it is you're trying to do, but you can't allow people and their opinions or lack of their opinions to keep you from doing what you're going to do. All right. So this is great. And you're living.
No, I agree. I agree. And this is another story from when I was crocheting.
Yeah.
I did, Drea, she was a basketball wife. She had this, like, this is literally like over 10 years ago. I'm probably 14. I don't know. It was a really long time ago. So I'm crocheting, and she had like a women's power brunch, right?
Yeah.
And again, everybody, you've been seeing my work, So she had a power brunch, and then after the brunch, she took pictures with everybody. So I posted a picture on my page, and then everybody saw these brunch pictures from this event. And it wasn't even a huge event. It was, but it looked probably bigger than it was. But as soon as I posted that picture with her, oh my God, yay! Da, 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 da. Then I start selling things that you guys have been following me. You guys have been seeing this item that I've made. But now I look like I'm connected to somebody when I've never spoken to her again. She would never even recognize me,
Social media.
But social media. Yeah. So it's like when they see you connected in any little way with some type of celebrity or half celebrity, now your work to them is more valuable. Yeah. And that is what we have to, like you were saying, steer away from, not connecting or not allowing people's value affect your own value. Yeah. I know my value and what I feel like my work is worth. I can't let anyone else tell me what it's worth.
Yeah, because they're not there with you when you're making the decisions on what's next.
Exactly.
You can't wait around and see let me do something first and see what they're going to say before I decide. Like, no, you have to be able to be confident in what you're doing.
Yes.
To say, like, this is the path that I want to go on. And I'm going to let, between me and my support system, God, I'm going to let that align me with what I'm trying to do.
Yep.
Hey, this is good. This is good. Yeah. This is good. Let me ask you this really quick. I want you to give us what are some things, practical things for someone who's an artist right now, as far as like being able to step out to, like, how did you find some of these shows that you're doing, or some of the apps that you're using for art, something like that? Give them some of that stuff, because there's somebody that wants to.
Yeah. So like I said, the first one I saw on Instagram, and I just did it, and that was kind of like a snowball effect for me. And so then connect with people. When you do an event,
that's good.
Connect. And it's so crazy that the majority of people that I've met, other artists and other entrepreneurs here in Dallas, are so supportive. I've had a couple little haters, literally like two, you know, like at art events or whatever, mad or whatever, because I'm selling and maybe they're not doing as well.
Right.
But there's been events that person next to me is selling like crazy and I'm not. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know what's going to happen. Yes, I'm not worried about them. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about me.
Yeah.
But connect with people. The majority of people that I've met here in Dallas share information, share knowledge. Like they're very open to telling you anything. Like, hey, how did you do this? You know, how did you set your table up? Like, where'd you get that from? They're going to share it. And I'm the same way. And anyone that follows me, any other artists, they know that I'm always sharing events, even if I'm not doing the event, but I'm like, okay, I see that, you know, Black on the Block is having something. I'm gonna share it. I have another event that day, but I'm still gonna share it because there's other artists that follow me. And the people that my little art community, we all do the same thing. And I'm not, you know, I just kind of cultivated who I'm around now, you know, and we're not like buddies, pals, hanging out, you know, but when we see each other at events, it's all love. We may buy with one another. We share each other's work. We share information with each other. You know, people ask, like, because I've done a lot of events now. Within this past year, I've probably done almost 30 or so.
That's good.
So if a person asked me, a young lady, another artist, she asked me, how are you not so tired? She said, I did like 3 events last month and I'm exhausted. And I said, girl, I'm exhausted too. I'm tired.
It's part of it.
Yeah, but just, you know, I explained, like, you know, just having certain things prepared a certain way and knowing what I'm going to do, knowing how much stuff I have to take, knowing my process of setting up and everything, just organization wise, just kind of helps me not be so tired. But the next day it's man down situation sometimes, especially if I do 2 events back to back.
Yeah, be like that.
Yeah, but and then she gave me some information as well, so I started doing my own printing. When I realized how much I was paying for printing, I was like, let me go ahead and buy a nice printer myself. So I started printing myself, and then I couldn't find the best paper that I wanted, so I'm spending hundreds of dollars testing paper. And I was like, let me ask her, because I know she prints herself too. And she right away gave me the knowledge, gave me the specific place, the specific type of paper she used. I didn't use the one she used, I used another, but she did not gatekeep.
Yeah.
But these are the type of people that I'm around, because we, you know, and I exude that as well. Like if I have some knowledge that you need, I'm going to share, and vice versa. They share with me.
That's good.
Yeah. But I did have one person, she's a big digital artist on Instagram.
Yeah.
She I asked a question on Instagram, and I know she read my comment because she came to my story, but she didn't respond because I asked a specific question, like, how did you do this? You know, so there are a few people that aren't going to, but it's okay, because guess what I did? I went to YouTube and I figured it out myself.
Totally fine.
So just find your tribe, find those people that
say that again.
Find your tribe.
Find your tribe, people. That's so good.
Find your tribe. Find your tribe. And also do the work yourself. Like I said, she didn't tell me, but I figured it out on my own. And this was way early on, so I didn't have a tribe just yet. So I went on, on YouTube, and I just like really dived in and I figured it out. And, you know, so do the work and find your people and give back what you're requesting.
That's good.
I can't, you know, be like, oh, I want people to give me knowledge, but I'm not willing to do the same.
Reciprocal.
It does. So reciprocate, be a good person, and good people will come to you.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So
dropping gems.
Yeah. I told you I'm not like him with the gems, but you know.
You got them. They in you.
But you do get what you give.
That's good.
You do get what you give. And I feel like I give, and you do have some people that take, but you know, in my age now, I've learned where to give to.
There you go.
You know.
Yeah.
And then it turns into this big ball of, you know, reciprocity.
That's good. That's good. I want to ask you this question real quick. Mm-hmm. You're a parent.
Yes.
Right? How important is it to you for your child to see you living out your passion, taking steps that may seem like insurmountable?
Yeah.
How important is it for you to do that and for them to see it?
Yeah, I love that he has seen my growth. You know what I mean? Like, he's been there since the beginning. He's come with me to some events to help me set up.
Yeah.
And he's always like, so how'd it go? You know, so he knows my progress, and I'll tell him, you know, how much money I've made or whatever. He's like, oh, okay, wow. You know, I want him to see that you can do whatever it is that you want to do.
It is that you want.
You know what I mean? And he actually I listen with the young folks with technology, because at first I'm like, you know, people can just go to, you know, they can DM me if they want to buy something. He's like, no, Mom, you have to create a website. You got to create on Instagram. They got to be able to just tap. People don't want to do all that. And as soon as I got it together and did it, I started getting sales on Instagram. But he was like, you have to make it easy for people. So I listen to the young folks. I listen to him. Yeah. But you had mentioned cooking. He's really good at cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I had wanted him to go to culinary school, but he's like, well, I just want to do that for myself. I'm like, okay. So he currently goes to school for music engineering. Mm-hmm. But again, like, he wants to keep that to himself. You can be an artist of, you know, he's an artist all over in every way. But that's the part that he wants to keep to himself. Yeah. But I just want him to know, and I'm glad that he sees it, that whatever you're putting your focus on, you can blow it up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you invest time, energy, money. Like I said, I bought myself a new printer. I put money into that. Every time I make money, I'm putting more money into myself. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It takes that. You have to invest in yourself, whether it be money or time, your energy. You have to, if you want it to grow. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not just going to come to you. You have to work for it too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's good. And our young people, they need that. We need to encourage the next generations behind us. If you're not doing something to where the people that are following behind you or coming behind you are going to be better, or something that you've done makes the path a little bit easier for them, then what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Right? And so I love that. Like you said, you're putting it in front of him so he sees something that maybe his friends, like, they don't have parents that are making things seem possible to them.
Right.
And you're putting it right in front of them.
Right.
So that's amazing. Yeah. All right. We're going to go. We got this segment that we do.
Okay.
All right. You watched the last week's episode, if no other ones. We got this segment we do. It's called That's My Jam. All right.
Okay.
So what I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. You can answer them however you want, but there's 2 jams. Okay.
Okay.
So first, I want you to tell me a saying, a quote, or a scripture, anything that you go to, that you say to yourself or the people that you love to hear, that gets you motivated, right? And then the second one is a song. Give me a song that you listen to, maybe something that energizes you, maybe something that you play often when you're creating art, whatever it is. But give me those 2 things. That's my jam.
Okay, so my quote would be, everything is figure-outable. It's the name of a book, but I use that quote on a piece of art of mine. Okay. And we often, there's a solution to everything, and it may not be the solution that you want it to be, but there is a solution. Yeah. You know, that there's always a way. Yeah. There's always a way. So that would be my quote. And then my song I'm going to say is Beyonce, I'm That Girl.
Come on.
Because sometimes you need a little reminder. And Beyonce, she pumps me up when I'm feeling like a little like, I don't know. She's like, no, you that girl. Yeah. So I need Beyonce sometimes to tell me.
There you go. You gonna get the country album?
Absolutely. That's my girl.
There you go. That's what's up. All right. I appreciate that. Now, tell the people, where can they find you? I know it's Candy Apple Tree is the business, right? So tell them, where can they find you online, wherever it is? What events you got coming up too?
So Candy Apple Tree with a K, Kandy, Apple Tree. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and candyappletree.com. My next event is Art Overdose. Okay. That is this Saturday coming up. Sunday, next Sunday, the 24th. But on my page, you can find all of my upcoming events. And I also have events in LA that I do. And if I'm unable to make it, I have my family doing those for me too. So.
Oh, you got a team?
I got a team. I got a team now.
Come on. That's good.
So yeah, all of my events are on candyappletree.com or on my Instagram. I post them.
All right. Y'all hear that? So go support, really support. Go look at the art. It's beautiful to look at. I want to get some myself. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Look, I have enjoyed sitting down with you.
Thank you.
A lot of gems, you said you was gonna be nervous, but I didn't feel that.
Really? Okay, good.
You was rolling.
Okay,
good. So really happy to sit around. I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming next. I'm going to support in any way I can as well. And so just keep going, because we need people like you in the world.
Thank you.
To show other individuals that it's possible to live in your passion and to be fulfilled without worrying about what everybody else got to say.
Don't worry about what everybody else got. Do what makes you happy, and you'll find your people, and they're going to be happy for you too. So
All right, y'all. It's the Non Life, now over never.
Thank you for watching the Non Conversations on COTL-TV.
Hey, yo, what up? This is your boy, Cameron Classic Mike. First of all, thank you for watching the Non Conversations right here on COTL-TV. That's at Content Outside the Lines, or Content Outside the Lines, whichever way you want to say it. That's how we meant it. Right here on YouTube. I hope you've been inspired by some of the guests that we've had. And if you haven't, you want to see more of the Non Conversations or more content like it, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification button so you can see exactly what I'll be posting in the future. And you can also join me over on Instagram at IamClassicMichael, where you can see additional content as well. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. The Non Life. It's now over never.